10 weeks.
5 countries.
19 internal flights.
2 children.
How did we survive?
I don't even know.
It's about trust, babe.
No.
Look at it. Look how different it
I know.
is to the rest.
I know. I've seen it before.
It's a long white one.
Yeah, I know.
You're getting old. So we just come back from 10 weeks in Southeast Asia with our 3 and 1 year old. We had an incredible time. Absolutely amazing, wasn't it?
I know. And every time I look at the pictures, I just want to cry and go back.
Oh, I know, literally. At first, when we got back, there were an element of, oh, it's not bad. And, like seeing people again, eating the food, like being comfortable again in our own home. Yeah. But now it's like, yeah.
Thank you.
Can we just go back again?
I know. I've seen everyone now. I'm good for a few months.
Yeah. So we've had loads of questions about our trip. We're going to get into it. We're going to start with the Philippines because that was our first destination.
Philippines!
So, out of the countries we visited, where does the Philippines rank from 1 to 5? We had to fly from Manchester Airport, which is just over an hour from us. Fly from Manchester to Doha, Qatar, and then Qatar to Manila.
Yeah.
Now, getting around the Philippines is probably the worst part about the Philippines.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
It's beautiful that it's made up of islands, but you've got to get between the islands.
I know. Thinking about all those bags we'd carried and oh my gosh.
We seriously overpacked.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, we seriously overpacked.
Oh, no.
We did.
The funny thing is...
seriously overpacked.
The funny thing is, the majority of the stuff was you just, like, taking everything from the pharmacy. You basically went into booze, swiped the shelves, put it in the bag. The amount of toiletries and those kind of products that we took that we just could have bought out there, just don't do it, guys.
Yeah. Charcoal tablets.
Which we didn't use once.
I used them.
How often? You took about 2. Yeah.
I still took them.
What else?
Electrolytes. Took them. Well, I did buy some more in 7-Eleven.
Yeah,
but...
you bought electrolytes when we were out there.
No. I had some as well, though.
Yeah, but proof you didn't need to take them.
But it was, I think it was that initial aspect of it because we were flying into the Philippines first, and with kids, it was like uncharted territory, just needing to make sure he had enough carpool, enough, like.
Neither of us had ever been to the Philippines before as well,
No.
so we didn't know what to expect.
No.
Out of the 5 countries that we went to, I had been to 3 of them, but never with children as well, so you just look at everything in a different light, don't you?
Yeah. Better have it than not need it than not have it,
Yeah.
There we go.
So yeah, the hardest thing is getting from place to place. You have got to either fly internally within the islands, which you should book in advance if you are flying because they're expensive to book last minute.
Especially in Philippines.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about specifically for the Philippines. Or you can do like ferries between them, but can you imagine with the amount of luggage we had?
Yeah.
We did end up having to do that to get to Boracay though, didn't we?
Yeah.
So Boracay is a very touristy island. It's one of the most touristy ones in the Philippines. But it's insanely beautiful and we absolutely loved it there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But you have got to land at an airport that's on the island next door. That's Katiklan Airport. And then you've got to get a boat across to the island. Yeah. That's a long journey.
It was a very interesting one because we actually didn't know we needed to get that ferry until we actually landed there. So
No, that's not true. Actually, we did. We didn't know until we booked the flights. And actually, when we were planning the Philippines, we purposely didn't go to too many islands. We went to 2 islands plus Manila because we didn't want to have to do all of the travelling around with the kids and all of the luggage too many times. So we decided on Boracay and Busuanga.
Yeah.
Fokron. Busuanga. And I am happy with our decision, but I definitely think we should do more islands in the future.
Yeah, well,
and take less stuff.
Do you know what happened? Like, I remember before we thought of doing El Nido, but then going via Puerto Princesa, and then just going up that way, or the other way around. But then
you're talking about driving for hours across the island.
Yeah.
You've got to get to El Nido, Palawan, another island to get to.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to cram too much in. We knew we had 10 weeks altogether anyway, so we didn't want to tire ourselves out straight away.
Yeah, and I think one thing to even think about was those flights that we were thinking of, because it was like we'd need to fly from, like, was it? We had to go to Manila to go to El Nido, then El Nido to Manila.
Or like
it was
Cebu.
Cebu. So it was like
connection point.
Yeah, so it was like, and it was really expensive.
Yeah, it were going to add up quickly.
Yeah.
So we stuck with 2 islands, which, yeah, we are glad about.
Oh, yeah.
If we're going to talk about itinerary, first of all, we might as well talk about the islands.
Yep.
Boracay is absolutely beautiful. What a nice place to start.
Wow.
The white sandy beaches.
Wow.
Filipino people are lovely. So we instantly felt welcome there.
Yeah.
We ate some great food.
Yep.
And we just had like a nice holiday type vibe to start the trip.
Yeah.
Lots of playing on the beach, in the water.
Yeah.
And chilling together.
Yeah, just beautiful all around. Boracay was like a nice like welcome.
Yeah.
To
I think
the
we felt
town.
really safe
Yeah.
as soon as we got there because the people are so nice and the culture's so welcoming. We felt really safe the whole time.
Yeah,
So that was definitely a nice way to start.
yeah,
The food, however, I mean, it's quite... Amongst Westerners, generally Filipino food is not raved about. And I don't want to be mean, but I can kind of see why. Like, a lot of the Filipino foods are not our favourite. So, like a lot of tourists, we ate a lot of Western food, which is not something that we do when we go to a foreign country.
No.
But it's quite common practice in the Philippines.
yeah. It was really strange. Like apart from like the street food, which
Yeah,
we tried.
but that's just meat, isn't
yeah,
it? Which is eaten based.
that's the thing. Yeah, apart from like that's kind of
And
street
ube.
food. And yeah, well, ube, yeah.
Ube, the purple root vegetable, which we had,
yeah,
we
that,
tried.
That was lovely. Yeah,
But in terms of actual Filipino food, we didn't eat that much. But very good food is available.
yeah. Oh, don't. Oh,
Do you remember that Sunshine Cafe in Boracay?
please.
That
please.
was so nice.
Please.
And so cheap.
I know. Just do you know what we were there thinking, beachfront. You know, lovely view, great food,
Bit
great
of a bougie
customer service.
cafe, yeah.
It was like wow.
Remember that
And-
whole meal we had the first day with like 4 brunches and drinks, and it cost like 20 quid.
I know.
I'll put a video in of what we had.
Yeah, it was so good that it got to a point when Amber was saying, "Oh, what we're having on the next day." I was like, "Well, I
Should we go back to
should go back to the
Sunshine?
same place."
Yeah.
Yeah, and wow, yeah, I could have.
So speaking of like expense, as I said, obviously we're really cheap.
Yeah.
Philippines as a whole is cheap, innit? I mean, getting between the islands can be expensive, definitely, but the country is definitely cheap by British standards.
Oh yeah,
Food, accommodation, transport, all so well priced, which makes you enjoy it even more, doesn't it?
yeah,
So transport and getting around the islands is super easy. Everybody uses tricycles, like tuk-tuk tricycles.
yeah,
And you pay like £1 or 2 to
Yeah.
go anywhere.
yeah,
We stayed in the area of White Beach
Yeah.
in Boracay, but we stayed like quite high up
Yeah.
above Station 1.
yeah.
I think we would maybe stay like closer to Station 1 next time. Station 2 was so busy and you're in like the thick of a touristy bits all the time.
Yeah.
Station 1 is nice and quieter. It's where people go to like do water sports, but that
Excursions and
area of the
everything.
beach, yeah, but that area of the beach is a bit quieter, which is nice.
Yeah.
Still some really nice cafes and stuff. Probably would stay in Station 1.
Definitely.
We stayed in Microtel,
Yeah,
which it were a nice hotel. There were absolutely nothing wrong with it other than just it were a little bit further away.
Yeah.
But it was that easy to get a tricycle. I mean, you literally walked out the hotel and
Yeah.
when we're there, and you paid 100
it was,
pesos,
with 100 and 150 pesos to get.
which is a few quid, a couple
Yeah,
quid.
it was like they're cheap, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that was you getting it by yourself, so it's not like you're sharing with anyone. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm happy. I'm all right with that, to be honest.
It was the ease of it as well, wasn't it? Like
Yeah.
having that availability of them to just be
Yeah.
able to get in and go wherever you want.
Yeah.
That was so nice.
Yep.
Moving on to the weather. So the weather in the Philippines were amazing for essentially the whole time we were there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it
It
was.
was absolutely beautiful, nice and hot,
Yeah.
like beach weather.
There was like 2 days where it was a bit cloudy.
Oh yeah, it went a little bit cloudy.
Yeah.
But it was still warm.
Yeah, it
Still
was
really warm.
Yeah, it was still really warm. Yeah, yeah. It's like it was like, oh, I might rain. Then it didn't end up raining.
Yeah, it threatened, but it never bothered.
Yeah,
Actually then, so yeah, talking about Busuanga, the reason why we chose Busuanga as our second island was we thought it offered that serious natural beauty that you expect with the Philippines.
Yeah.
Boracay did, but in terms of like beach, it's more so.
Yeah.
Whereas Busuanga had like the big rocks and the blue
Formations,
sea. The big rock
yeah.
formations, like you could kayak between the seas.
yeah. Kanyangan Lake.
Yeah, so we
oh.
went to Karangan Lake, we went to
Yeah.
Twin Lagoon and kayaked in a a clear kayak, didn't we, around there?
Yeah.
We went to a little private beach as well, which were really nice. All on a tour that we booked when we got there, by the way. There's no need to book tours before. It's like there's so many operators.
The Siete Pecados? Oh, which one's that one?
Oh, Siete Pecados.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was also part of that boat trip. So great snorkeling spots.
Yeah.
Actually, one thing to note, because we didn't know this, did we, until after we'd booked our flights to Busuanga, is that there's no like real beaches on the island.
No.
It's definitely not one of the beachier islands. Like the Philippines has insane sand and water.
Yeah.
But Busuanga doesn't offer that. You go there for like the other natural beauty stuff.
Yeah.
So we just stayed in a hotel that wasn't even like right on the water.
And then went to Tag.
Yeah.
Went to Tag, didn't we?
Yeah, so if you want to have a day like where you just have a couple pool days or whatever, in between you exploring on the island, then that's definitely a good day. But yeah, don't plan to go to Busuanga and go and like be by the sea, because that's not the place to do it.
Yeah, no.
Choose Palawan or Boracay or other places for that.
With entry requirements, we had to do the passenger locator to say where we're staying.
Everybody has to do that.
Everyone has to do that.
Everybody has to do the passenger locator. Yeah. Maybe we could put a link in the description.
Yeah.
Just to show you guys like what you need to do. But it's basically you take a picture of yourself and you fill in your information.
Yeah, where you're going to be staying and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, when you're flying in and out.
Exactly. All of it's always like really like well laid out, and I did check about 1 million times just to make sure that
you say that, but then we were stood in Manila Airport when we arrived after that long journey from the UK, and ended up all having to do that passenger locator form.
I know,
but it didn't take that long. Like it probably added an extra half an hour on in total.
Yeah,
which means that even if you did forget to do it beforehand, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, but the best thing to do is 2 or 3 days before you fly.
Yeah,
do that.
Yeah, save yourself some time in the airport.
Save yourself some hassle, because. Yeah, you if you land and you've already done it, you just go straight through, and that was it for a few other countries, which we'll be talking about. The next ones.
I would put Philippines probably at country number 2.
Yeah, and you know what? Before we went to the second last country, I was gonna be number 1.
Yeah, Philippines were a strong contender for first until we went to another country that took first place. But you'll have to watch the other videos to find out. Yeah. In terms of with children as well, would absolutely recommend it with children. Super child friendly all over.
Yeah, I know. Like everyone was just like really nice and
they were, weren't they?
Yeah.
So if you've got any other questions at all about our Philippine portion of the trip, or just a general question, please pop it in these comments. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Come join us for the next one, where we're going to be talking about Malaysia.
Yes.